Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah from Tula Being Mindful Movement. And this sleepy creature here beside us is Phoenix. She'll be joining us as always today. Today's practice is a feel-good, everyday practice, something you can do any time of the day. Don't expect anything too tricky in today's practice, and a fairly slow rhythmic flow. I invite you at this point to roll out your mat, get into your comfy clothes, and we're going to start seated in a comfortable upright posture. So at that point, you might like to gather something under the hips. At this point, I invite you to bring your palms to face down upon your thighs. And see if you can be as present as possible with that connection of touch. You might even do that again, closing the eyes, and then really mindfully place the hands on the legs. Feel the weight of the hand land. Feel perhaps the texture of clothes or leg on the palm, the fingertips. Maybe you notice a temperature change, a warmth or a cooling. And then allow your vision to become broader and notice your posture here. Maybe you notice that your weight is pulling you to one side. Maybe you notice you're leaning one direction. And there'll be a constant drawing yourself back to a sense of center here. At this point, imagining your head gently balancing upon the shoulders in a central way, and the shoulders gently balancing upon the hips in a central way. A constant drawing back to center in a physical way and a mental way. It could be useful to gently use the words, I am here, in the next few moments as we pause collectively. I am here. Come back to the body and notice the earth beneath you now. The connection of buttocks, thighs, ankles with the earth. If possible, feel into a sense of broadening and expansiveness. If it's useful to use the words once again, perhaps as you inhale, I am, and as you exhale, here. Here I offer a few moments of silence to be with your own experience. Breathing in. Open the mouth. Let it go. Bring the palms together, lightly touch thumbs to heart space. Breathing in. Open the mouth. And then pulling thumbs to the center of forehead. Breathing in. Open the mouth. Let it go. Blink, open those eyes. From here, we're going to bring our left leg back behind us. So it becomes a deer shape with our legs. Sitting up nice and tall, inhale. Left hand's going to take your right knee. As you exhale, attempt to take your twist. And as you twist, I encourage you to see if you can pull that left hip forwards, lifting the left buttock right up off the earth. Nice and tall through the spine. We stay for one more breath. And then slowly soften to face towards that right shin. And as you do that, notice if possible, can that left hip start to ground towards the earth as you attempt to take a bow over your right shin. Let the head become heavy. It might even droop and gently lull here for a few breaths. If you wanted to, you could add some sways with the rhythm of your breath. Or if it feels good, you might take a sort of a ripple and a roll through the spine and just allow your head to become heavier and heavier forwards. And we'll go for one more breath. And then really exaggerate the roll up. So take your time. You could take at least 3 breaths to do that, walking the hands in, keep the head heavy, imagining the spine in the letter C shape as you roll your way upwards until finally your head is propped once again, nice and centered on top of those shoulders. So we'll lean back, hands might come off the mat. As you lean back, could you press down through the palms? Try to squeeze lightly through the glutes as you attempt to push those hips up and forwards. If you're comfortable going there, take the gaze up and even back. Inhaling, chin towards the chest, and then drop the hips back down towards the earth. Keep the hands behind you as you start to press into the balls of your feet. Lift the knees and allow them to drop down towards the back edge of the mat as I am here. You might be in a different shape, but we're just doing a little windscreen wipe off those legs. So it could be that your feet are a lot further forwards. It could be off the mat to give you that space. Keeping the hands on the earth behind you. Just trying to do a little windscreen wipe at those legs. And it could be that you're doing far less of a movement than I am, or letting those knees travel down towards the ground with each sway. You might notice that you start to take a little walk forwards with those hips. So it could be that you need to sort of shuffle your weight back again. That happens to everyone. And then allow the knees to drop down towards the left side. So we're back into that deer shape. I like to bring my ankles onto my mat so it feels a little more cushioned rather than being on the ground. And we're going to see if we can do our nice tall twist. So you'll start to turn towards your left side. Right hand approaches that left knee, left hand to the earth behind you. Now you're going to drag that right hip forwards. The right glute will lift up off the earth. See if you can stay nice and tall through the spine. Head is upright. See if you can feel open through the breath and not too closed off in the twist. And then we soften to face forwards again or towards your left shin now. And as you do that, notice how the right hip draws back and attempt to drop it towards the earth. It may not touch, but see if you can get heavy through that right hip. And then check out where that left shin is. We're going to start to see if we can bow forwards over that, your left shin, over your left shin. Let the head become heavy. Maybe there's some sways or a little lull through the head, or a yes or a no. And when we do come up, let's exaggerate that movement nice and slow. Round the spine, curve the spine. The last thing to lift will be that head. Lifting on up. Then bring the hands back behind you, palms towards the earth or fingertips. And we'll see if we can lift the hips. So lightly squeeze through the glutes, press down through the knees and shins, lift those hips. If it's possible, gazing up as you roll the shoulders back. Maybe you'll even take the head all the way back. Inhale, chin rises back towards the chest, and then slowly soften the hips back down. Keep the hands behind you. You might need to walk them a little more centered on your mat there. And then a little windscreen wipe of those knees from side to side. So remember, it might be that your feet need to be a lot further away from the hips to get any of this kind of movement here. Some of us will be more comfy, feet tucked in closer towards the hips. Just do what you can there in terms of space in your own body. And then we'll direct the knees back towards the top edge of the mat. Sweep the feet back behind you and come and meet in downward facing dog. Let's give that a good pedal out, a generous bend into one leg and the other. Maybe a sway of the shoulders. Just doing what feels good for you in your body. I'm enjoying a deep exhalation once again through the mouth. Ripple forwards and drop the knees down towards the earth. And we'll have the knees behind, we'll have the knees underneath those hips. And we'll have the shoulders on top of those wrists. From here, lift the right hand up towards the sky and take a twist, right arm underneath the left into our threaded needle. If you can, place the outer edge of your right cheek down towards the earth there. Maybe you've got something underneath the head. And I'm going to bring my left hand to a place that just feels really supportive for me to hold this pose. So you don't have to keep the hand super close to your face. And I invite you to bring the weight into your right knee and explore extending the left leg out behind you. Just for a little balance here. Some of us might notice that the core has to switch on just a little bit more there for a bit more stability. And it might be that you just want to come back to bringing the left knee to the earth. And then left knee back to the ground. Left hand a little closer towards the face. If you've widened it, press down into that hand. Lift the right arm up towards the sky. Place the hand towards the earth and then step the left foot forwards. Let's go ahead and hover the left knee up off the ground. Find some strength through your legs. You could have hands on top of blocks if you need a little extra lift here. And I'm pressing down through that right heel as though I'm trying to press the right heel to the earth, attempting to keep left knee roughly balanced on top of that left heel. Give a little bend once again into your right knee. We're going to roll up. So this is slow pace. That means our legs have to switch on here. You could also do this with the back knee to the earth. So I'm actually going to encourage a curving through the spine. I want my legs to be really fired up and strong. I notice that I've had to hop my back foot in a little bit to feel that my legs can start to connect to all of their muscles. And then just floating the fingers off the earth, but keeping the head low, rounding the spine. We're rolling up. So we're doing this super steady, slow and controlled, rolling up through the spine. Give a shrug of the shoulders once you feel like you're upright. And then sweep the arms up towards the sky and drop the right heel down. Warrior Two pose. Come and meet me in your Warrior Two. Feel into a sense of grounding. Feel into a sense of strength. Feel into a sense of openness through heart space. Last breath. And then we'll windmill the hands to the earth and step back, downward facing dog. You might like to pedal out those heels again. And then we'll drop the knees back down towards the earth, back into your tabletop pose. Shoulders on top of the wrists, hips on top of those knees. This time it'll be the left arm that rises first. Inhale, open up the shoulder. And then dive left arm underneath the right, palm faces up. If you can, nestling the head, the side of the face to the earth. And then just position the right hand where it feels most supportive for you. I quite like to press down through the fingertips and keep the elbow lifted. And then if you feel like you're quite stable, bring the weight into your left knee and start to extend the right leg behind you. You might notice that a little more core control needs to be activated just to hold you in place. You are so welcome to try and then decide that's not for me today. Last breath. And then we'll lower the right knee once again. I'm going to bring my right hand a little closer to my face, press down into the earth, unravel, left arm rises, place the left hand back down towards the earth. And then this time we're going to place our right foot forwards. Tuck the back toes, hover the knee, pause. And just for a moment, feel into the strength of your legs, but a sense of sort of pushing the left heel towards the earth. So there's a sense of pushing the feet apart initially. And then we want to do the opposite. So it's like I'm dragging the feet in towards one another, a little extra bend into the back knee, and then press down firmly as you start to round the back body, fingertips just hovering off the earth, super strong legs rolling up, so staying relaxed through the upper part of the body. Shrug the shoulders and roll those hands high. To warrior two. When you're ready, we meet. Pause in this wonderfully grounding, strong, but also light pose. And the lightness comes from this sort of buoyancy. Our core is lightly engaged, the leg muscles are lightly engaged. But there's a sense of real freedom through the heart here, a sense of expansiveness. We'll windmill the hands down towards the earth. We're going to step it up to the top of the mat this time. Let yourself dangle, little ragdoll. Soften the knees, let your head be heavy once again. Rolling your way up, soft through the knees, easeful through the breath. A little shrug of the shoulders. Hands rise, inhale, and forward fold. Exhale, take a halfway lift, and then step back to downward facing dog. From downward dog, drop the right knee to the earth and hover the left leg. So as you do that, start to notice if your belly collapses straight down. Can we try to avoid that? Mine automatically does that. We want to see if we can find a little integrity through the core, strength through towards that left heel. And we're not doing anything fancy here. We're just holding our leg. And we're imagining that we are almost like a table here. So from the back of the head to the back of the left heel, we've got a nice piece of wood that could be seen as a table, a big coffee table. And we're holding that wood in place. We're not budging. And we've got to use scaffolding through our core here, through the glutes and that leg that's on the earth, through the glutes and the leg that's in the sky. And all of these muscles working collectively together to hold strong. And then draw the right knee in towards the face. This is going to be a little bit tricky. So we're going to see if we can bring our left ankle in front of that right knee. Now, if that doesn't quite get there, you might just need to bring the left leg to the earth and then just hook the right leg over behind. So different ways to get to the same place. And then start to walk the legs of the thighs close together and walk the hands a little bit further back. Now I'm going to widen the ankles. The aim is not actually to touch the buttocks to the earth, but I'm going to start to drop the hips back. The left knee, that's the top leg, will start to rise. It's a bit of a funky child's pose here. I like to press down through the fingertips so that the arms are actually active. And it's like I'm trying to spread through the back of the shoulders and hollow out through the armpits. Let your head become heavy. Feeling into the outer edges of the glutes and the hips. Let your body rest upon the thighs. And then soften, unravel. Walk the hands towards the earth, tuck the right toes, lift yourself up and back, downward facing dog. Give that a little pedal out. And then as you ripple forwards, you're going to slowly bring your right knee towards the earth. Come back to downward dog. Then from downward facing dog, we're going to ripple forwards and bring the left knee towards the earth and hover the right leg. So again, we're just holding this pose. We are seeing if over time we can become more and more aware of where our body parts are in relation to one another. It's proprioception. So seeing if you can visualize the length of that back leg behind you. Can you visualize the heel being aligned with the glutes on that right side, aligned with the right shoulder blade, and maybe even aligned with your right ear? We are just holding in place. Then come back to your core. Have we dropped the belly? Have we lifted and tilted the sit bones up? Can we find a connection to those body parts? And then come back to the breath. Feel long, fluid, easeful through your breath. And then from here, draw the right knee in towards your face. This is the tricky part. If you can, you're bringing a right ankle around the front of that left knee. You can always drop down onto that left shin and then hook the right ankle around. So we're going to see if we can drop down through the hips, widening through the feet. And the aim is not that I must have the buttocks to the ground, mine are hovering way off. And that right knee has also lifted off the earth. A bit of a funky variation on a child's pose. You might like different shapes through the arms. I'm exploring a few myself. Perhaps fingertips pressing out right out in front, or maybe the forearms have dropped down for a little bit more support there. Letting the head be heavy. Last breath. We'll bring the hands to the earth. Tuck those left toes behind you. Lift yourself up and back. Downward facing dog. Ultimately, we're going to end up onto our backs. You can do that however you like. Step, walk, or jump. And slowly land onto your spine. Let's bring soles of feet to the earth, knees to the sky. We're going to take 3 lifts of the hips through bridge pose. If you would rather bring something under the hips and be supported, go ahead, grab your cushions or your block. Otherwise, we'll all place feet at hip width. I go a fraction wider even. And then we want to make sure that the toes are shooting straight forward so your feet are like train tracks. I'm going to consciously draw shoulder blades in before I begin. Press the palms down beside those feet. And then roll up. So pubic bone towards the navel slowly rolls up. Little extra squeeze of the glutes at the top. And then we're going to roll our way down. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Pubic bone towards the navel as you roll up. Pausing and then rolling back down. The last time, if you feel comfortable there, you could always pause for a good 3 breaths. I'm going to draw shoulder blades even closer together, perhaps even interlace fingers, light squeeze at the glutes, seeing if I can feel into my stability and a long neck and easeful breath. Releasing the hands out of the way as we roll and release down. Windscreen wipe the legs or draw the knees in, your choice, or both. I'm going to end with a little supine twist here before we head to Savasana. Your choice of leg shape, I'm going to simply let the knees drop down to one side. You could bind the legs, you could stack the legs. Your choice whether you turn the head away from the knees or keep the head centered. One more breath through this side. And then drawing way up through center for the second side. The wonderful thing about my yoga practice is just noticing the subtleties that every day that we come to our mat can feel different. Drawing our way back through center, hug before we land our way into Savasana. First thing that you might like to do is simply lengthen your inhale. And then lengthen the exhale. Until you feel ready to wiggle and add a little movement. Until you feel ready to join me seated once again. I invite you to end how we started, palms facing down. Seeing if you can notice any subtle shifts within you. No expectations here, just with a sense of curiosity. We gently inquire about the moment of now. And maybe sealing those thoughts with a deep inhale through the nose and a sigh. As always, thank you for joining me in today's practice. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I bow to you. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like it below, subscribe to my channel, and hit the bell icon. Not only will this keep you up to date with my offerings, but will keep content like To The Being free and accessible to all.